Mark, do you have a counter?
So here's my problem, right? You were similar to me, with even more arrogant than I was, if that's possible.
That isn't possible.
That can't happen.
Yeah, you know, when I first had my first company and I wrote code and I did all the systems integration, the fact is that you're the one that has to go to China. That is the hugest mistake you'll ever make, because it says either you're afraid or don't know how to hire and build bench strength. So my problem isn't the valuation, right? My problem is that you don't have the skill set yet to be able to create that acceleration. I'm out.
Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Okay, Miles, what do you say?
Unfortunately, we're interested in equity partners that are going to be fully invested in the company. We don't want to have a big balloon payment over our heads. Wow. So, unfortunately, unless you want to go equity, we're going to have to decline.
When you walk out that door, it's over. And you're going to go home tonight and cry like a baby.
When you say no to an offer like that, it actually shows me you don't have as much confidence in the business as I thought you did.
So I have a lot of confidence in the business. I don't have as much confidence in paying back $3 million exactly when he needs it.
I can't believe you're not taking it. I'm shocked.
I gotta say no.
All right, you're a dead shirt walking to me. Turn around and get out of here.
Please just go away.
All right, thank you guys, it's been great.
Take care.
I feel like I gave out an offer that I knew we could accept. Unfortunately, none of the sharks took me up on it. And, you know, I bent as much as I thought was reasonable for our business because I believe in it so much and I know where we're going.
Next time on Shark Tank.
22 Blue is the answer to your problems.
Wow, let me show you how easy it is. You invented this.
There's people that watch things happen and people that make things happen.
This could be one of the best things I've ever seen on Shark Tank.
Bing, did I hear royalty?
He's annoying the hell out of me.
Wait, Mark, rude.
Why?
I'm in the middle of talking.
You're making me wait for this?
The risk is yours. So, do we have a deal?
A Mother's Reckoning. Essential viewing for every American family. The Diane Sawyer Special next. And now, ABC's 2020. Diane Sawyer reporting.
A silence is broken. A dark mystery explored.
Do you believe in evil?
How could anyone have missed these signs? A mother who has never spoken before on television.
Could you have prevented what happened to Columbine? Good evening, I'm Diane Sawyer. Tonight, the mother of a killer is going to speak. Her son, one of the shooters at Columbine High School nearly 2 decades ago. And for all these years, especially for the families of the victims, those urgent and anguished questions. Could these parents have prevented that massacre? What did they miss? And are they parents like us? A note tonight, Sue Klebold has written a book called A Mother's Reckoning, and the money will go to the mental health crisis in America. Also, on the advice of experts, we're going to be very selective in what we show and do not show about the shooting and the shooters, especially now that over and over again, we wake up to another one. But before Sandy Hook, before Virginia Tech, it seems to have begun with Columbine. It is 1999. A shockwave hits America. 2 high school boys in trench coats carrying shotguns, a semi-automatic weapon, and homemade bombs walk into their school and begin the slaughter of their classmates, who were sitting on the grass eating their lunch, who were hiding under tables, no defense from the terror. 13 are killed, 24 are wounded, and we are all watching for the first time. Children run out of their school, fleeing mayhem. For the first time, we see a wounded student struggling out the window of his high school to escape with his life. And for the years to come, we would all be asking the same questions. Who were these killers? And what kind of parents could produce children like these?
Someone wasn't doing their job.
For 17 years now, the parents of Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris have lived their secrets, unwilling to step forward. Until a gray-haired woman makes her way into a room. In the course of this day, at one point, we see her pacing, perhaps grappling with her decision to step forward after all these years hiding from cameras. Years of being hated and threatened. She says afraid and ashamed.
Everyone's phones are off.
Sue Klebold is now 66 years old.
Camera, slate.
For the families of 13 people who died and 24 people who were injured, most of them children,
Yes.
what is it you want to say to them?
The one thing, of course, that I want to say is I am so sorry for what my son did. Yet I know that just saying I'm sorry is such an inadequate response to all this suffering. There is never a day that goes by where I don't think of the people that Dylan harmed. And
You use the word harm.
harmed, I think it's easier for me to say harmed than killed. And it's still hard for me after all this time.
Is that about a certain need to deny what happened, or?
I don't know, perhaps. It is very hard to live with the fact that someone you loved and raised has brutally killed people in such a horrific way. The last moments of his life were spent in violence, sadism. You know, he was cruel and hateful, and I have to own that. I just remember sitting there and reading about them. All these kids and the teacher. And I keep thinking, constantly thought, how I would feel if it were the other way around and one of their children had shot mine. I would feel exactly the way they did. I know I would. I know I would.
You blame the parents for being out.
For all the parents who have said, well, I would have known something.
I know.
I would have just known.
Before Columbine happened, I would have been one of those parents. I think we like to believe that our love and our understanding is protective, and that if anything were wrong with my kids, I would know. But I didn't know. And I wasn't able to stop his hurting other people, and I wasn't able to stop his hurting himself. And it's very hard to live with that.
Called him the Sunshine Boy?
We did when he was little, yeah. He had this sort of a mane of golden hair, and it was just always thick and round, and he was such a happy, precocious, brilliant little child.
She seems to be trapped in a contradiction. The son she once had, the murderer he became. She has written a book called A Mother's Reckoning. In it, she says all the lessons of her regret, which began on the day she woke up an ordinary wife and mother. Fast forward 24 hours, and I was the mother of a hate-crazed gunman. On April 20th, she was at the office where she works helping disabled college students. Right after noon, 12:05, her husband Tom, a geophysicist who works from home, calls and says it's an emergency.
His voice sounded horrible, jagged, breathless. Something terrible is going on at the school.
911, what's your emergency?
He tells her 2 killers wearing trench coats are shooting kids at Columbine High School. One of Dylan's friends has called worried that Dylan might be involved. He wasn't there for morning class, and he wears a trench coat. Tom races through the house, hoping against hope, to find that coat.
You always think somebody's making a mistake.
It's not there.
My first thought was Dylan may be in danger. You know, who are these people that are hurting people?
She has to drive 26 miles to get home, thoughts racing.
Hyperventilating, trying to talk myself down.
She arrives home. It's official. Her son Dylan is believed to be one of the shooters, and the shooting may not be over yet. In that moment, she says, a searing prayer no parent thinks they could ever pray.
The police were there and the helicopters were going over. And I remember thinking, if this is true, if Dylan is really hurting people, somehow he has to be stopped. And that at that moment I prayed that he would die, that God, stop this, just make it stop. Don't let him hurt anybody.
And so her quest begins. She says she goes back over every year of her life with a magnifying glass, looking for the path of her son's descent and the clues to all the things she missed. That's coming up next.
Mastering irresistibly smooth. The Lindor Truffle from the Lindt Master Chocolatiers. A hard outer shell with a smooth center. Welcome to the best time of your day.